everybody. I'm here to do a really quick recipe for you. And I'm kind of going back to like when we were like quarantine kitchen and I had to do things of what I had. I had a couple of eggplants and I kind of forgot about them. They were sitting over here and one of them started to go bad. So really quick, I cut it up into little pieces. This is all that was good left of it. So now I've got this one that's still good. So we're going to make some really quick caponata, or as my Nonna used to say, Caponatina. So anyway, so it's my Sicilian Nonna. So what you want to do is you want to just, of course this is nice and washed already. And this is a great thing to bring everybody over to the kitchen because it smells so good when it's cooking. So we're just going to cut this in long, kind of not too skinny. You want to have a little bit of, thickness to it. And then we're just going to cut it into long strips. Now, some people, I've seen different recipes where some people make it in big pieces. I kind of like it in little pieces. My Nonna used to bring it over to the house. It was like gold in a jar. It was a little jelly jar. I like to make these perfect, excuse me. It was a little jelly jar, and it would, I swear, we just used to keep it in the refrigerator with a spoon sticking out of it because that's all we did with it. But what this really makes is a great bruschetta. It makes a good topping for pasta. It's good with a spoon out of the jar. So anyway, all right. So just see, we're just cubing it. So let me turn my pan on real quick. Get that warming up. And I'm just gonna move this over here. Okay, and just do the same thing. I just wanted to show you kind of how I cut these babies. Not too big. I like them to be, you can get a little bit of everything in each spoonful or in each bite on the bruschetta. So, all right. See, I'm trying to go fast and I missed a piece. I knocked it off my cool tower here. All right, let's see, get those pieces. And I got a couple random pieces that got big. All right, there we go. Boop. All right, so really quickly, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go to the frying pan. All right, so we're gonna put in, I'd say the equivalent of a couple tablespoons of olive oil. Now, eggplant soaks up all the olive oil really quick. So you're gonna may end up putting a little more in, but little 2.5 tablespoons or so. Let it start to warm up. Oh, but my pan was already hot because it heats up quick here. And we're gonna, whoops, a big piece hanging. Ah. Oh, hear the sizzle? All right, where's that piece? I just didn't cut it all the way. There we go. Okay, we're gonna get these in really quick. Now, this recipe today is a little light because I only had one eggplant and a little bit. And then this little bit that I had here. All right. All right, now, let's get these babies cooking. And all the olive oil's already soaked up. But this one eggplant made more than I was expecting it to. No, not really, because it's going to cook down. This is on my nice little piece. Don't waste any little pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little more oil on here. Now, you're going to hear that some people will say, don't you have to salt the eggplant? Blah, blah, blah. You can, but this was, number one, it was a female eggplant. So that means, a male eggplant, because it has less, and female eggplants have less seeds. If you look at the bottom of the eggplant, and of course I cut it off and forgot to tell you about this, but the bottom will either have a dot or will have a line. The dot is the male and the line is the female. So the female tends to have more seeds in it. This really didn't have any seeds in it at all. And it's the seeds that cause the bitterness. I don't care about the moisture because we're cooking it out, so it doesn't really matter. Dropped one or popped one out. All right. Now, what I'm going to do now, so this is basically, well, let's just say this is one eggplant. Because this one wasn't that huge, so if you get a regular size eggplant, this is about one. So it just takes a few minutes for this to cook down. So while that's cooking, I'm going to tell you what else goes in here. So we've got one, this is about a stalk and a half of celery chopped up. That's going to go in. Usually, when I always make this with at least 2 eggplants. So usually I use 2 big stalks of celery, but 1.5 I've got about a half of an onion, all diced, and all kind of in similar sizes, this stuff. You know, the eggplant's always going to be the bigger because it's the star of the dish. And I've got green olives. Now, Nonna used to say you put in 10 green olives. Now, because this is less, I'm only doing 6. I probably should have done 5, but you know, 1 extra is not going to kill anybody. But I'm going to show you how to do these. Let me move this out of the way here. Okay, so you take your big fat green olive. First of all, you count your olives, then you count your seeds, so you don't accidentally get a seed in your stuff. So you're just going to take your knife and go whack, and ta-da! The seed comes right out. Okay, a little piece is stuck at the bottom, but anyway, comes right off, clink, and then you put it in your jar. But now we're going to top them all out. I'm going to chop these babies up. Rough chop. You want some chunks in there. This gives you some little bites of mmm. It's amazing how much flavor this gives. All right, I don't want them chopped too little. Just make sure the big fat ones are chopped up. Okay. One little big one. There we go. Put that back in the cup. Nice and chopped. The other thing that you have to prep, excuse me, I'm going to dry my hands, is a mixture. You want, normally in 2, you want about, you know, not even 2 tablespoons, maybe 1.5 tablespoons or so of sugar. This is 2 heavy teaspoons, so it's not quite a tablespoon, plus it's less. Okay. And then we're going to put in, you know, some vinegar. Usually it's about 1/4 cup. This is a little less than 1/4 cup. We're just going to stir this up. And honestly, this is not a precise recipe because it's one of those things you use up what you got. I'm using up my eggplants that could have gone bad if I wasn't paying attention. All right. Last thing, capers. There we go. So these are teeny tiny ones. There's the big ones and the teeny tiny ones. If you have the big ones, I would chop them. These, you know, a good teaspoon or so. You know, an extra 1 or 2 doesn't hurt. And I mean, we could just kind of chop up some of them so they spread around more. But that's it. Okay, let's check on this eggplant. Oh yeah. All right. This definitely needs a little more olive oil. Already. And look how pretty it is. You can see all the moisture is coming out of it. Of course, that could be the olive oil. But anyway. And you can make this as chunky or, you know, dense or whatever as you want, or as soft as you want. Some people want it softer. A little softer is better on a bruschetta because it's not as chunky and it doesn't fall off. The softer kind of sticks and is a little more dense. I like it kind of in between. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this out of the pan. You can do it with 2 frying pans, but you know, it's better to just... Oops, drop them. All right, use the same pan, a little bit more olive oil. And now we're going to throw all the other goodies in. So I start with the onions because I want them to start cooking. Now you don't want you do this for a reason, separate. Because this stuff, you want it to have a little texture. So we're cooking it down, but not too much. Because it's going to have a little bit of that crunch from the celery. And in between with the you know, onions. So we're just going to let them cook up for a minute. Just until the onion just starts to turn a little translucent. Because you want them to pull that sweetness out, but you don't want them to be mush. Can I tell you? There's nothing like cooking onions. Smells so good. Alright. So you can do this as much, like I said, as much or as little as you want. But as soon as, look at those onions, because I have this kind of on high. If you're standing at the stove, you can cook on high. If you're not, I'd put it down to medium and do it slower. And then the house smells good longer. All right. So this has got a nice little, you know, color to it, and you can tell they're already starting to get a little teeny bit. We'll give them 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I never do it that way backwards. Okay, anyway. All right. Let's throw back the eggplant. See, you can't do it not separate, because if you do the onions and celery and then throw the eggplant in fresh, the onions and celery will overcook and then it'll all be mush. Now I've got soft eggplant, put in nice big cubes, and now I'm turning the heat down. Now it's on medium low. So first comes the, let's throw the olives in. And then the capers. I'm going to stir those babies in. We're going to throw in the tomato sauce. Now you can use fresh tomatoes and cut them in little teeny pieces and it's going to break down. I would put them in probably with the eggplant. But I had some leftover tomato sauce, so we're going to use it. We're going to throw this in. Look at this. It's coming together. And that, last but not least, we're going to throw in our little sweetened vinegar that makes this a little agrodolce, a little sweet and sour in Italian. Yeah, you know, it's got to be in Italian. You can't be sweet and sour or something else. Actually, this is a Sicilian dish. This came from my Sicilian Nonna. Oh, wowza. And you can see the little bit of vinegar, boy, that just brings out all the flavor, melds everything together, gives it that tang. And look at this. Then you can just let this cook for a little bit more. And look, it's a beautiful, okay. What's that? Hot. I can feel the heat up my nose. Perfect. Needs a pinch of salt. And let's throw in, just for fun, a little pinch of pepper. Okay. But otherwise, pepper. Look at this. Just stir it up. You never salt anything till the end. The stuff cooks down and then things become too salty if you salt at the beginning. There's times where you have to salt earlier for reasons. For whatever reasons. But anyway, let's try this one more time. Yeah, this is going to be good in a jar with a spoon sticking out of it in the refrigerator. So, what I'm going to say is, well, I guess I could say buon appetito, because this can go on your pasta, this can go on your bruschetta, you can make a lunch out of it. You know, this, on some good Italian bread, with a nice hunk of cheese on the side, lunch, or snack, or late dinner. Anyway, everybody, please do me a favor, share this, send it to your friends, and please make this. And if you make this, please post on there, show me a picture of it, because I love seeing when you guys make what I make. It makes me happy. So anyway, okay, I'm going to turn this off so I don't burn it. I'm going to give it one last stir so nothing's stuck to the bottom. Okay, and there you go. Caponata, Sicilian style, my Nonna. Okay, please like and share. I love you guys. Ciao, ciao.